Today's talk is your second last talk. This is my version of energy and life and the meaning of life and the value of it and actually enjoying it. And I've entitled it, Feeling Like Life Again. Because I think this is something that gets stolen from us over the years, slowly but surely. And we forget how cool it was to have energy and to be full of life and have more energy than you knew what to do with. And I want to try to get back there, because when you get there, it's such a valuable thing to have that you do everything that you can to try to keep it and to hang on to it. And making the sacrifices that you feel like now are hard work or punishment become worthwhile because there's something to be gotten for all this hard work that you do the rest of the time. So what I want to talk about first is how busy is the life. All the things that have started to happen to you, we normally call these the excuses. Stuff starts to happen. First we were young and we could do whatever we wanted, go wherever we wanted. We had no money, but we didn't need money to have fun. Do you remember that time? That was good times. Good stupid stuff. You know, you had to have like a really bad, rubbish little car, and you were lucky if you had petrol to get to the next place. But somehow there was something about it that was exhilarating, exciting. You were game for stuff. You didn't have to always worry about consequences. You didn't have to always get back for somebody to feed the dog, to feed the husband, to feed the kids. You didn't have to get up at 6 o'clock so you could get 3 other people ready to drive to school. You know, you could actually spend half an hour just on yourself, on your hair. You used to put makeup on because you had time to do it. Now you just slop it on and you choose like practical colors that can't just go with everything. Because don't you put your makeup on first, then you decide what to wear? Are you guys like that? I don't know, maybe in the corporate setting you were a little bit more, unless you just always wear sort of cream. So this is what happens. Here's your life. See if you recognize any of this. This is the demands of life, the demands of your day, the busyness. You've got to find yourself. Everyone's telling you, spend more time on yourself. It's like, really? When exactly? The husband's always making the demands. Of course, the family is there and we love it, but it takes up a lot of our time. There's a lot of preparation. There's a lot goes into it. And often at the end you think, whew, I wonder if that was really worth it. Maybe they can do it next year. Then mommy is expected to always be busy, whether you work or don't work. We live in a wonderful culture where the husband still likes this picture, you know. There's a reason I have a picture like this up in my cupboard, because this is the perfect place for my woman to be. You know, have you heard that thing where the wife walks in and she says to her husband, my watch is broken. He says, there's a perfectly good watch on the oven. Anyway, so maybe not. I need some male support here. So that's just a really bad joke, and I want you to know that I know that. What else have we got? There we go. Always the huge fun that it is getting out there now, squeezing those last few drops of time out of your day to do stuff that's really fun and everybody's just really a thrill to be with, and how much you just love being with your children all of the time. What else fills your day? The essentials, you know, doing your share, keeping the kids busy, doing the homework. Then sometimes when you have your chance to rest, you find out there isn't actually that much chance to rest either. And you often end up with a picture like this. And this is one of the surprises they don't tell you when you first have children. You know, when your 6-month-old is in bed next to you, you think, oh, sweet. But when your 9-year-old is in bed next to you, it's like, oh, I want to kill him. There's just something that changes. It's just not as special anymore. And when they roll over and punch you in the face when they're 6 months old, it's, oh, sweet. But when they do it, then you have to explain at work the next day what happened to you when they're 9. So even your sleep becomes completely disturbed. So the quality of your life just gets completely dissolved and diffused into the time that you have. And most of us feel like we just have enough time to get the basics done, the essentials. There's very little time for those important extra things that we know we neglect, and for a while we miss it, and after a while we just forget that we even should have been doing it. So eventually we become sort of a misty image of ourselves. And a lot of people, when I see them, this is kind of the impression I get of them, is like, doctor, I don't even remember who I am. I feel like I'm some sort of a tool or an accessory. I'm some sort of a equipment. I do a job. I perform a function. And somewhere in all of this, I got lost. I've gone missing. And the truth is, I'm not even sure anymore who I was. I'm already on an antidepressant. I already take a tablet to help me sleep. I have to take things to calm me, to keep me stressed. I'm so tired half the time that if I don't drink coffee and Coke, I just don't cope with the day. My kids stress me, my husband stresses me, my boss stresses me. I actually don't remember being happy. I don't remember that time when I had nothing to worry about, when I loved being alive and when every day was exciting because I didn't know what was going to happen that day. Now, most of the nights that I go to sleep, I feel like, oh, tomorrow's Tuesday. And oh, it's Monday. And every day, you're actually more scared of every new day than you are looking forward to every new day, because the stuff that it's going to bring is generally not a nice thing for you. So what happens is, we start to lose our inner energy. We start to lose that excitement for life and the thing that was driving us, that was getting you out to the gym or belonging to the netball club or playing a bit of hockey or meeting some friends for a walk around the block. And it starts to all just fall away. And slowly but surely, you start to forget where the joy was. You start to lose that energy and excitement to be alive. And it's not a difficult thought to understand that it's not hard to go from there to the next place where you just start to gain weight, you start to dress a bit differently, more practical, you start to wear your hair a bit differently, you just start to lose the need to be special about anything. And soon after that, eating just becomes something you have to do, something you have to fit into the day. And most of us in 2013 live in a world where you shop daily. A lot of us will drive on the way home to pick up supper for tonight. Doesn't that happen to you guys? That's how we shop today. I think, did I tell you guys, was due that your mom used to buy a month's worth of shopping at a time, groceries for a month. That's the only time we went to the shop. And then we'd buy some donuts, and that was it. But she would plan the meals a month in advance. She would say, come and buy the roast for next week Sunday when Granny comes. We got more of a thing of, we'll just buy something. What? I don't know, we'll get it at the 7-Eleven. We'll pick it up. We'll get it somewhere. We'll kind of see how it goes. Let's make a salad. What are we going to make? We'll see what's in the fridge. If we're lucky, there's something green and red and a cucumber that's not too fraught. And maybe the cheese hasn't got anything growing on it yet. And so we just kind of go with it. Because we think it's actually making our life easier by being spontaneous and open. But it doesn't necessarily. It adds a different type of a strain. So where did the energy go? What happened to it? There's a bit of a priority crisis. A lot of things start demanding your energy. And at the end of the day, convenience trumps quality. The quickest thing beats the better thing. The easier thing beats the thing that had to be planned and processed and effort taken before the time. Although those things always work out nice at the end and you know it, you just don't have the energy to do it in the first place. So who demands? Those that shout the loudest get the most attention. You know that old saying, the squeaky door gets the most oil. Work, obviously, huge project. You can't say no, can you? You've got to be here every day. You've got to be here a certain number of hours. Your kids demand huge amounts of your energy. Your husband demands huge amounts of your energy. Your home, keeping your home, cleaning your home, because you guys still have to be the homemaker. After everything that you do and everything you put in, you've still got to be the homemaker. So that responsibility still falls on you. And I don't know in South Africa yet if we've got husband and wife teams where they both work, where the husband is still happy to take full responsibility for keeping the house clean. You'll still find it's you ironing, it's still you vacuuming, it's still you cooking. Is that true? Sad but true. Sad but true. So we've been brought up to think that's how it is. If you go to Toys R Us, I think from the time that you were 3 years old and you went to Toys R Us for the first time, the boys have got cars and soldiers to play with, and the girls have got little irons and little ovens and little ironing boards and washing machines and dolls that pee. It's like, really? Like, we need to get a head start on that stuff, okay? Because the real pee, you were not going to know what to do with that if it just happens one day. So you need preparation, training, dolls that cry and pee. That's very sad. So it's not a surprise that we all grow up thinking that the chick does the nappies and the boy does the beer and the braai and the rugby, because that's how Toys R Us taught us. False relaxation. This is an interesting one. Stuff that steals time. a lot of us do this. Remember when you used to have a hobby? Okay, let me explain the word hobby. Some of you have heard of this. It's something you do because you love it for no reason at all. Do you remember stuff like that? You can look it up, Google it. So things like playing an instrument, things like crocheting or painting, things that demand very little effort, but when you do it, you might have a smile on your face. You actually might be humming a little something if you hum, or whistle, or whatever. But there's something in you that's just free, mindless, thoughtless. And you're enjoying it even though it has no point. And sometimes the fact that it has no point is part of the reason it has the value, is because it doesn't have to be for something or someone. No one's demanding it of you. There's no deadline, there's no target, there's no end. You must do it by Saturday, because that makes something suddenly unfun. Think about your diet. When do you have the least fun with your diet? When you have to lose weight. I must. But then it doesn't work, that's not fun anymore. So the more you put that end point, the less fun the activity actually becomes. It becomes a job, not a hobby, not something you do for fun. A hobby is energizing. The one thing you can do that is the most relaxing is something that is repetitive, meaningless, thoughtless, but stimulating. Playing an instrument is a wonderful example. Strumming on a guitar fulfills all of those criteria. Maybe even playing a computer game for a man, I'm not sure. But playing a sport, riding a bicycle, something that the entire purpose of it is achieved while you're doing it. It has no end goal as such. I play golf for this reason sometimes, because when I play golf, it's the only time I'm not thinking. I'm thinking about a stupid ball and a dumb stick that's got a wrong shape and that my body's not designed to hit properly. But I'm not thinking about being a doctor. I'm not thinking about where I've got to be and the things I've still got to catch up on and the emails I haven't answered, because that little ball fills my mind. It's embarrassing to admit that, but it means my brain's probably only that big. But in my mind, it's a big ball. They told me that's how you must picture it, okay? So the thing is this. So that's the kind of thing you've got to look for. Something that allows you to switch off. This is why we often escape to false relaxation techniques. TV. You switch off, but your brain is still engaged, and unfortunately, this is now mind-numbing. It's a different kind of a problem. It's a different kind of a solution. You're not getting anything out of it. It's just an escape. It's a place you go to switch off, because for a while, you don't have to think. You don't have to worry about packing or doing your kids' school books for tomorrow or getting that thing done by next week, whatever the goal is. Or your kitchen that you've wanted to redo now for 6 months and your husband can't decide on the tile color. And you know even when you decide, it's just going to take forever to buy it, and then it's going to lie there in a pile for another year. Okay, TV, media, social media. Media here, I'm talking about newspapers and magazines. Stuff you do that just fills space. It does nothing. It achieves nothing. You're actually just allowing other people into your life. Do you know that you don't watch TV because you think it's fun? You watch it because advertisers think it's good for you and they get an opportunity to sell something to you. So it's abusing you and it's manipulating you. That's why it's not a true form of relaxation. Your brain has got to be quite awake while you watch TV. You have to be engaged in what's happening there. News is just, much of the news you read is predictive and doesn't happen anyway. The worst case scenario doesn't tend to happen, you know. Social media, a lot of ladies on the phones, the Facebook, the twits, just something that's engaging you, just reading news, reading stuff that's meaningless and empty that you actually really don't care about. I was watching a little bit of Sky last night, and with the little baby that's been born, and everyone's so excited, and it's just over and over, and what this lady says, and what that lady says, and what somebody in Germany thinks who really doesn't care, and somebody in Iran who says, do you think this will change the political relationship between England and Iran? And it's like, really? And this is what my brain is busy dealing with now. Absolute useless junk that means nothing. And I've just wasted that part of my life, and I can't ever get it back. Convenience trumps quality. Be careful of these false relaxation things. They steal your energy because they're not giving you anything. They are taking from you. And even if they're not taking, it's just a stall. You're not growing. You're not changing. You're not improving. Okay, what's easy to neglect? These are the things you sometimes actively avoid. Do you want to do this list before I do it? Because you know this list. These are the things you've got brilliant excuses. My knee, my back, my time, my kids, my hair. I'm not sure where that one fits in. But chicks always have hair stuff. Okay, but I washed my hair this morning, so I can't gym today. I've heard that one, I know, in my own house. It was weird when I heard myself saying it, though, to be fair. And I just decided I can shower afterwards again. So this is one thing this is where you pay the price. This is the first thing to go. Why? Because it seems so meaningless and empty, doesn't it? You see, well, what's the point? All those hours in bed, what do we really achieve? Well, sadly, we steal from our sleep, and it has huge consequences. We exercise, gone. Next thing, gone. Nutrition, when you don't care or when you're tired, you don't care what you eat. You eat anything. Whatever's the most convenient and the least effort, that's where you go. It starts with tiredness, not poor discipline, not bad choices, tiredness, convenience. Meditation, I know, this is another word some of us will have to Google. It's like doing nothing on purpose for a whole long time until you've finished. Not until you hear somebody call your name, but just like, no, that's not it, is it? It's I always get the wrong. So meditation doesn't work well for me either. But meditation, I believe, works differently for different people. I meditate better when I'm on a bicycle somewhere out on the road than I do sitting cross-legged with my fingers pinched. We have our own way, but it's a form of meditation. Purpose. Now, this is something interesting. Do you remember when you were young and you told somebody what you're going to do when you get big? How you're going to change the world and how things are going to just go your way, and you're going to have this and this and this by your 30, and you're going to retire when you're 45. Do you remember when you actually thought your life's going to mean something? Yeah, I won't stop there too long. But this goes, hey, this is out of the window, because eventually you start to say things like, my purpose is to raise my children and to love my husband. Well, no, that's what you've made it now. You've basically given up on what it was supposed to be, and you've made this. Maybe your purpose is to write the next great novel, or it doesn't even have to be great, but there was something in you which was often unselfish, which affected people around you, and that thing's gone. Dreams. That falls in really with purpose, not the dreams you have while you're not sleeping. You know, most of us, we have to rely on daydreams if there's going to be any dreaming, because when you sleep, it's How about passion? Remember when you were excited about something, like super excited? Like when you talked about something and somebody else said, I don't even know what you said, but it sounds so cool. So that's what I like to do here. I like you to leave it going, he's so excited about this stuff. I haven't got a clue what those things mean. All those funny pictures and graphs. But he's so excited about it. Because we miss that. A lot of people are envious of people who do what I do, because they feel like he's making such a difference. He's really connecting. Because inside all of us, there's this real, true desire to influence other people, to make a difference in the lives of other people. And the truth is, there's nothing special about me that's different from anybody sitting here. It's just, I did it, and you didn't. And that's it. And I could stop any day, and you could start any day. There is no difference. So people that look cool are just you wearing cool clothes. A sense of yourself. Who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose? So I'm not just basically living one day to the next, doing whatever falls in my way. I think our lives are a sort of a crisis management program. And our jobs very often are that too. You spend huge amounts of time doing stuff that people have been doing for 20 years and still can't get it right. And you have to order something that they've been ordering for 20 years, and suddenly somebody orders 18, but they've been ordering 20 for 20 years, and you can't understand why things can't just keep working. Crisis management all day long. Stuff that's so logical, so simple. And then people make their entire jobs out of trying to make it more simple and more logical. All we're really doing is we just keep changing and changing. We're actually just creating more work for ourselves. But we lose ourself. Right. So this is an interesting thing. I want to talk about this. How do you know if you are alive? Now, I'm not talking about the basic things of, I decided not to put like breathing there, because most of us are okay with that part. I'm talking not about like my eyes are open and I function. I'm talking about life. I'm talking about I want to live. I want to grab hold of this one chance that I've been given to exist on this planet and make the most of it. Because when this one chance is gone, it's all over. Fortunately for most of us, when we die, we don't know what we did, whether it was bad or good. It's just over. So we want to do something. So how do you know if you still are changing the world? How do you know if your existence makes a difference? I think it starts with you. You've got to get up in the morning with this kind of feeling. How do you know if you're alive? How about one of these? You squint. No, you laugh. Laugh, but not laugh, smile. Laugh out loud. The funny thing about our world, I don't know if you're like me, but you can remember the times in your life when you laughed so loud and so long that you couldn't stop yourself. But you know, isn't it horrible? It's sad that we actually can remember those occasions because they're so few and far between. Sometimes, you know, it's different when you snicker or laugh or giggle, but I'm talking about laughing at something really funny and just laughing because you feel happy, because you have joy that literally is waiting for an opportunity to spill out on your face and laugh. Love is always something. I want to grab somebody or something and pull it close to me and hug it till it can't breathe anymore. This is a sign of life. This is a sign of passion. This is a sign of meaning. I know where I fit in. I have the confidence to believe that person will return that feeling to me. And I have an abundance of feeling to give to that person. Sign of life. Caring about something bigger than myself. Wanting to give something back. This is a sign of true growth as a human being. I'm not worried anymore about poor me, my world, my foot, my back, my kid, my school, my money, my budget, my car, my small house, my job, my old clothes, my fat body. It's something more than you. Caring about something more than yourself. Love and intimacy. Wanting to share yourself completely with somebody else, holding nothing back. I had to change that because I had the word sex in there. And sex is a difficult one because everybody interprets sex differently. So I had this talk with somebody this morning. When you don't have sex, have you imagined this now, other people now, obviously not you, other people that you may have heard of where this happens. You've been married a couple of years, it's not what it used to be. You're tired, you're bored, you don't feel great, you don't have sex. The funny thing about life is that most of us, when we stop having sex, slowly start to step back from that point, even if you're in a marriage where you've been married for a long time. So now you don't not only have sex, but you also stop sleeping next to each other. You stop holding hands when you're walking through the mall or while you're driving somewhere. You stop making little jokes. You stop pinching bums. I love it when my wife does that. You lose the tiny little things, if you want to call it foreplay, but it's not really foreplay because it doesn't have an end goal of sex in mind. It has an intimacy. It has a sharing. We have a unique bond. Nobody else knows what we know about each other, and we share this unique thing with each other intimately. When there's no sex, it slowly but surely comes back. Have you seen that? Do you know what I'm talking about? Eventually, it's like living with a friend. Not even a good friend after a while. An abusive friend who still expects you to do stuff around the house. But there's nothing left. And one of the things I do for people like that, where sex is a problem, is I encourage them to not focus on the sex, because we somehow have this other feeling of, I don't want to encourage him too much because then he's just going to want to go there. So when we do sex therapy with people, one of the things we tell them is, take the sex completely out. No matter what happens tonight, you may not have sex. but you can do absolutely everything else in between. It takes an enormous amount of pressure off a relationship, especially for a man, because men start to develop little intimacy issues, confidence issues, erection issues as they get older, and it's often not because of the stuff in between, it's because of the end point or goal. Take that out, and suddenly you find that there's a lot of love still to be given in between. There's a lot of stuff you can do. We've all been to high school. There's a lot of stuff you can do before sex. That's just as fun. I didn't go to that high school. I read that in a book. So, sex is not everything. And there was a part of your life you remembered that. But we seem to have a thing where it's either sex or nothing. And I feel like when your life is full, you can fill that part. I've got patients where the man is a paraplegic and he can't do anything, but their lives, they're tight, they're intimate, they're close, they still love each other, because it's not about the end point or the act of intercourse. It's a sharing of me, my deepest me, my deepest person. So, how's this one? Peaceful sleep. When last did anybody sleep like that? Remember, just like, nobody's going to wake you up. Remember the holiday you went on? You were alone. Nobody's going to wake you. There's no alarm. The dog's not going to bark. The dustbin truck's not going to come around. Nothing. You're going to sleep until you wake up, and then you could sleep some more. It's very seldom we get that feeling. It's very seldom you get a picture of a baby sleeping like this too. Hey? The whole... Here's another one. This is, for me, is a two-part thing. That's why I like this picture. It's self-forgiveness, but it's also forgiveness. And I wonder, when we're trying to lose weight, a lot of the trouble that I see with the people doing the program is that there's so much anger at letting myself get into this situation or to this condition. You're actually angry with yourself. And when you're dieting, you're not dieting, you're actually fighting with yourself. And then you actually scold yourself. You're just so stupid and weak. You can't even stay disciplined enough to get from breakfast to lunch. Have you had that talk with yourself? It's a sad, sad place. You definitely don't want to do that in public. But in front of a mirror, it's also kind of weird. But we do this. We talk to ourselves. Look at this. You'll never wear this again. Remember when your belt was... You fat slob. I don't know what... We talk to ourselves like we're some evil, bad version of ourselves. You need to forgive yourself. And I've even told people, you know what, you don't need to do an active diet. Don't force yourself to diet and get thin. Do a passive diet. You know what a passive diet is? Allow yourself to eat better and get thin. Give yourself permission to do it. Don't fight it, because when you fight it, you will lose. Fat is very strong. Okay? The forgiveness part is important too. It's forgiving other people. People that are bitter and incomplete go down very bad paths, and you steal energy from yourself. So the self and the forgiveness are both important in this picture. How's this one? Welcoming the new day. For me, this is a sign of life. Remember when you used to enjoy getting up to watch the sunrise? Sunrise. It's in the morning, every morning, really early. The sun comes up on the one side. Serious. It doesn't always start up there in the middle of the sky, because that's how we prefer it. You know that feeling of, oh, no. But remember we used to go on holiday and you used to think, let's get up at 4:30 and go make a fire on the beach and watch the sunrise. It's like, that's life. That's like, I want to just get the most out of this thing that I can get. And I want to enjoy every single one, because I know that every single day that goes past is the last time I will have ever had that day. It will never, ever, ever happen again. The 23rd of July, yesterday, is gone forever. You will never, ever have the 23rd of July again. Today's still happening. You can still do stuff. But this is it. Not only getting up to do, but doing something. So not like peeping at the sunrise from your pillow. I'm not sure that counts entirely. Or some of us see the sunrise in Cape Town because maybe you're fasting this month. So now you're forced to see the sunrise. Or you have to go to work early and the sun only rises at 7:45 here in winter. So we do get to see a version of the sunrise, but we hate it. Because I hate going to work when it's dark. And here's another one. Inner peace. A place where everything is just perfect and quiet and calm. And you know what? And looking for opportunities to find places like this, and enjoying something like this, not thinking about all the other things I should be doing, but allowing this to just fill your mind and to fill your life and to fill your soul and to find that peace inside of you, I think that's when you know you're alive. When just the fact that you got up this morning and had somebody that loved you and that you loved was all that you needed. And everything else was just a game that we played to fill the time. Because really, isn't that what work is? How many times have you worked so hard to get a little bit of extra money just to go and waste it on a car or lose it in something, or somebody steals the thing you worked so hard for? It's all empty. The only thing you're required to do every day is get out of your bed, love somebody, and be loved by somebody. If you've achieved those three things, your life is complete. Everything else is a bonus. And I think that's when you start to find value in things that would otherwise be meaningless or wasteful. Okay, there's a little list of them. Laugh, sing, hug. Oh, I left out singing. Remember singing, humming, singing in the shower, stuff like that, whistling while you work. Giving, charity, forgiving, sex, love, dancing. Peaceful sleep, moving your body, looking forward to a chance to move your body. Peaceful sleep, energy, early rising, inner peace, signs of life. And you can add to those things because I think they're different for everybody. This is how you know it's working. So how do you get it back? Here we come to the real talk. Are you ready? We've got to be out of here by past. It's going to get scary though still. Are you at least a bit nervous about what's going to happen? I want you to be a little bit nervous. You're going to enjoy it even more. Okay, so because you'll need a bit of adrenaline. So here we go. My job, this is me, my job. What's my job? If I can't make you exercise, at least I can put the comma in the wrong place and can make you feel like it. That's what I want to do. I can't take you to the gym and force you to exercise. But I think my job here with you guys is achieved and complete when something inside of you goes, I feel like doing it. I feel like feeling like it. I want to. And now you start to look for the opportunity to do it. Then my job is done. Energizing the body in little bursts is the way that you're going to do it. And the way this guy invented a little system called Tabata training. He's a Japanese man who recognized that we have a very full life and we constantly find excuses not to exercise because of the time commitment that it requires. And it is. These days you can't just go for a walk because, it's dangerous, it's dark, it's wet, it's cold, it's windy, all our South African reasons. So we have to go to a gym. That's an effort. You've got to go early. You've got to find parking. You've got to wait for machines, the sweaty. There's all people that look at you because they're also sick there. And then you're all self-conscious. Okay, have you got those excuses down? You all know them, eh? You've got them like stuck on your cupboard. The reasons not to go to gym. Tabata said, forget gym, people. There are ways to do this without a gym, without a weight. So how does the Tabata training work? Tabata training involves exactly 4 minutes of intense, and now you should be getting a bit more nervous, intense exercise that lasts for 20 seconds of go, 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 and 10 seconds of rest, and then a repeat, and you do it 8 times. That's it, exercise. And this man compared the people that did this 4-minute program to people that did a 1-hour slow workout every day, and he could find that after 10 weeks, the improvement in their strength, blood flow, oxygenation, and sugar consumption was equivalent to the guy who exercised for an hour every day, slowly. And that was compared to doing a 4-minute thing once a week. I know. You're not allowed to do that. Forget that I said that now. Because for me, that's like, oh, nothing could be that sweet. 4 minutes. I spent longer than that picking my nose. Bad example, you lie. You've never picked your nose, eh? Okay, so, not for 4 minutes. I know, because that's indulging. So, how do we do this? Let's show you what it involves. It might be something like this. A squat, a sit-up, a running on the spot, or a very ugly thing called a burpee. jumping up and down. Those 4 exercises, each one for 20 seconds, and then a rest of 10 seconds. Then the next one, so you do 4 exercises, then you repeat those 4 exercises. That's an example of a Tabata. So Tabata is the principle, it's not the actual exercises. Here's another example of a different kind of one. You could do something like this. This is called a plank. This is called a plank. So a front plank and a side plank. This is excellent for this part of your body, the core. Try not to focus there. The core and on the... What's this guy doing? This is a form of a plank, interestingly enough, that you call a push-up. A wonderful exercise that exercises your arms and your back and your stomach because you have to be able to maintain that position. A push-up is a very good exercise, although it's not easy. No. But you get those like cheaty kind of chick push-ups with your knees on the ground. Look at me, 460, 470. Okay, I'm not talking about those push-ups. I'm like a real push-up. What else can we do? Steps are great. So there's all sorts of things you can do on steps. You can jump up and down with 2 feet. You can jump up and down with 1 foot. You can do it sideways. You can do a row of steps, run up and down, as in stairs, a staircase. So that would be a Tabata. So if you want to go and look online, there's quite a lot of examples of Tabatas and varieties of Tabata exercises. This is the advantage of them. Because it's short and it's intense, it will take your breath away. And in that time, your body burns an unbelievable amount of energy. It has to access fat because it's almost too quick to use the sugar that's available in your system. So your body not only burns a lot of energy in that time, but the recovery time that you spend after that can last up to a day or 2. And in all that time, your body is using energy, stored energy, glucose or fat, to fix and heal the muscle that was forced to do something in such a short space of time at such a high intensity. It's energizing. I went to a talk where we were there a whole day long, and the man made us do the Tabata after every session. So I think we did it 6 or 8 times that day. It was stinky by the end of the day. But it was kind of invigorating, but kind of weird. A bit like it's going to feel just now. Stick with me. There's a reason I do this right at the end, because I like to think by now we have a bit of a relationship. Don't we? Lock the doors. So, this is what's happening inside of you. It forces the body to use the stored energy. We call this anaerobic exercise. Your body's, it's using it so fast, it literally can't use oxygen to do it. So you're almost cheating. You're bypassing the normal way your body would use energy. But it forces it into this little bit of a deficit. It kind of pushes a bit of a backlog that your body then has to catch up afterwards. That's why the effect of it is much longer than the 4 minutes that you actually exercise. The continuous burning glucose as it repairs the muscle and replenishes glycogen. That's the stored form of sugar in your muscles long after exercise. Sounds cool, huh? And sounds easy, huh? Okay. What else? Last slide. More energy consumption, increased oxygen delivery. This is what this exercise is doing. Decreases inflammation in the muscles. Increases insulin receptor sensitivity. Here's an interesting one. If you do this before a meal, your body's response to the sugar that you take in that meal is completely different. Because we know what happens is that the little gateways, the pathways in your cells, suddenly become super glucose hungry. And sugar starts to flow out of your blood into your cells to provide this energy that was so rapidly demanded. And it's a way of pulling the sugar out. It's almost like it sucks it out of your blood, and it forces your liver and your fat to release sugar back into your system. In other words, it's breaking fat down to replenish that used up energy supply. And if you do it before you eat, the effect of that is that the food you eat doesn't get stored as fat, it gets used to refill the muscle cells that have burnt up that energy. So the food doesn't have a long-term effect on you, it gets used. Very, very important. Healthy and happy body. Really, what? You're going to smile after this? Okay, we'll come back to that one just now. I thought there'd be more men here. All right, so what I want you to do, and this is kind of a dare, but we're going to do it, aren't we? What I want you to do is to stand up from where you are and find a space in the auditorium. Now, please. It doesn't have to be a big space. We're all going to look stupid and we're all going to look at each other. There's a lot of space in front and on the stage. Okay. So, let's just change something here quickly. Now, the thing about this is that if you've got some sort of an injury that prevents you from doing this, you can't do a squat because of a back or a knee, or, you know, all those excuses you've got, then you're allowed to modify what you do. So we're going to start with 4 little basic ones. So what sounds easy to you? Squats. Really? Okay. So we'll do a squat. Let's do a running on the spot because that's easy. What gets easier than running on the squat? Then we're going to do a star jump. Do you remember star jumps? There's lots of varieties. We'll do a really easy one. An easy one is just going down and jumping up and open and down. Okay, I can't do that again. Did you all see? So, if you want to, you can just jump up with your arms up in the sky. If you're really inspired, you can jump up and open and down. Then we can end with either a sit-up or a push-up, depending which one you can do. So that gives you a chance to sit. Now, the point is not to do many of them. The point is to spend the 20 seconds doing as many as you can. That means if you spend half of your time just trying to stop yourself from falling into the floor, then you're doing fine. Okay? So we've got it. It's a squat, it's a running on the spot, it's a jump of sorts, and it's a push-up or a sit-up. And then we're going to repeat it. Are you ready? This is going to be part of your homework for this week. Yeah. Okay, go. We're going to do the squat. Here's your timer. So it's 20 seconds going now. Listen to the timer. Keep your legs slightly apart. Oh, we'll turn that a bit higher. Okay, go. Video them too. Okay, you can stop. Rest for 8 seconds, 10 seconds, eh? This is the easy part. Now we're going to run on the spot, 20 seconds. Go! As hard as you can. Make it work. Lift your knees. Everybody. 20 seconds. How long is 20? It's not very long, hey? Lift your knees. Lift your knees. It's quicker than you think. I can't believe it, hey? Keep going. Hold 20. Okay. That's only 40 seconds of exercise. Most of you can't remember how to breathe. Okay, jumping stuff. Go, jumping. Hup. As high as you can. I'm watching you jumping. If you can't jump, do running on the spot. Okay. If you can't do the thing, just run on the spot. Just do something. Sit-ups or push-ups. Go. Okay, we're only halfway. What are we doing first? Squats. Go. Squat. Feel those muscles burning. It's not hard, is it? You paid for this, remember? Go down and hold. And up. And hold.
3, 2, 1, stop.
Good. 10 seconds. Breathe. Running on the spot. This is the easy one.
3, 2, 1, go.
Go. It's only 20 seconds. Although this feels long here. That's it. Lifting your knees nice and high. Keep going. That's it.
2, 1, stop.
Breathing. Okay, we're doing jumping.
3, 2, 1, go.
Go. You're jumping, running on the spot. What? All right, last one. This has only been 4 minutes. Push-ups or sit-ups. Go. I hope people in video land are doing this too. Everybody, just because you're in your lounge doesn't mean you get off. Wonderful. Give yourselves a hand. Let's finish. Don't do it again. You can sit down. Can you feel that? 4 minutes. That's like it's an advert break. It's nothing. You have got no excuse good enough not to do that once a day. And you'll get better at it. You'll jump higher. Some of you might actually do a push-up or a sit-up. And I know who you are because we videoed that. So, your homework is to do 5 of those between now and next week Wednesday. 1 a day. That's all. 4 minutes. You can download these apps on your phones. You can find this on YouTube. If you want ideas of exercises, you put Tabata in there. I'm just breathing like this so that you don't feel weird. Okay. We got 2 minutes. Last thing. All right. Strength training. I just want you to hear that this is a kind of a cardio thing. It's a fat burning and a sugar thing. And it's invigorating and it's stimulating. And notice how nobody's falling asleep now. So she turned her can'ts into cans and dreams into plans. This is not the goal though. Hey? The point is just this. She had to make a lot of good decisions to stay this way. And maybe she won't look like this in 40 years' time. But you know, it's not impossible that she does. I think a lot of us think it's okay because we get older to let ourselves go, but it's not true. Your body can look like this your entire life. You might have to start working harder and harder to keep it that way, but it can do this. I want to show you 5 steps to build muscles. Muscles are heavier than fat, but muscles burn energy all day long, and they help you to lose weight. Even a woman, it's going to take a long time for you to build muscles, but to increase the muscles that you have is the goal. We talk about 5 very basic exercises. 2 pushing and 2 pulling. If you go to a gym, look for these machines. This is a chest push or a bench press. It's operating, it's exercising the whole group of upper body muscles. The point of this exercise, if you want to make this work, is you do this exercise as many times as you can for at least 1.5 minutes. But the last 2 or 3, you must feel like you're going to break or tear something. So that's the right weight. You must be able to do as many as you can at minimum of 10 for at least a minute and a half, one time. And the last one must be almost too hard to finish. This is a chest push. The next one is a chest pull. So it's a rowing machine. It's there and you're pulling it towards yourself. It's doing the opposite action now of the push, so it's getting all the muscles. The next one is, I get a better picture, a shoulder push. So now you're going above your body. A push up, shoulder up. And then the last one is the opposite, which is, notice how she's holding it, arms in, and it's a pull down. So that's easy to remember, hey? Push, pull, push, pull. 1.5 minutes, as many as you can, and the last one must be almost impossible. You must fail. You actually can't do it again. That's your upper body, and then for your legs, just one exercise, a squat of sorts. This is a nice soft one, safer for your back. And all you do is you push that little weight up and down there, as many as you can, 1.5 minutes, the last 1 or 2, till you just can't anymore. Muscle failure. If you go to gym, that's what I want you to start to do. It takes less than 20 minutes. Basically, it's 1.5 minutes each, with a minute or so between each exercise, and that's it. And this they have shown in 80-year-olds, that after a 10-week period of just doing those 5 exercises, they can increase their muscle strength by 40%, which for an old, frail person is the difference between getting out of bed alone or being in a wheelchair and not being in a wheelchair, from just strengthening muscles. Girls and boys, yes.
If you don't go to gym, what are the alternatives? Can you use that?
Tabata, yes you can, or you do Tabata, and you'll find there's a lot of Tabatas with weights or with balls. But a push-up with your own weight is more adequate weight than most of us need. A squat with your own weight, you see how long you can hold that. That's a very tough exercise for your body. So you don't have to do the gym. The gym's easy. Some of us like to go to the gym. We don't know what to do there. There's a plan. Tabata at home, this at the gym. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is BetYaLife for today. Thank you very much. I trust it was fun and that you learned something. Thank you very much.